I'd like to begin by acknowledging that I'm hosting this event from war-worn country and pay my respect to their elders, past, present, and future. Welcome again. So this is our website, Notion Australia. From the top again, we are a local Notion community for Australia and our time zone neighbors. We host fortnightly events. This is one of them. And 2 weeks after, it will be our major events on Crowdcast. And the event's gonna be creating your own live operating system. So today's event is about Notion for Pets. You can find some past events on our page. Each of these link to our YouTube channel. And feel free to subscribe to our channel, or you're already in this channel while you're watching this video. I'm gonna close that. Here are some templates we've previously made. Tonight's template is gonna go here as well. Some typical FAQs. If you just get started with Notion, here are some places you can go. You can always email us about any questions. Some spiels about Tim and myself. I won't go into too much details. Welcome. And finally, if you're looking for any ways to contribute to us or to the Notion community, you're welcome to be our guest speaker on the Crowdcast events or joining us on Q&A or these Build With Us session. We're also always looking for community partner to help us run these events together. And really, if there's anything you have in mind, Notion related, feel free to send us an email. And you can click on signing up to our newsletter to keep in the loop. We send out newsletter every week just to notify you what's gonna happen next. That is it. Cool. And I'll send this. Maybe I don't have the chat. Maybe Tim, you can send the link to the chat, the Notion Australia site.
Yeah, of course.
Awesome. Cool. So today we're going to set up a little dashboard for my cat Chipper. And this is Chipper. He has his own Instagram page. And I like taking photos of him anyway. He's a 2-year-old ginger boy. Me and my partner and I adopted him maybe almost 2 months ago now. This is week 8. And he was found on a roof, and he's 2 years old now. We've also got a YouTube channel, which we'll include in the link. And that is the latest video made for him. If you're interested in it, jump onto the channel. That's the ad for myself and for my cat. I'm gonna close that. Cool. So today we're gonna create a template look like this. Before we go into building it, I just wanna quickly show you what you can expect from working out of this session. So this is a dashboard I create for Chipper. There are a couple of things I really care in our daily life or in his daily life. On the left-hand side, you can see a little profile of Chipper. That's his face. And then in here, I've got a little bit information, name, birthday, mainly his microchip number just to get it handy. And then this is a number for local console. Numbers are all fake, just for confidential purpose. And then inside of these things, I do have all of his documents in it, just so I can quickly open them on my phone. Followed by, currently we've just got 3 key people and places. We've got a groomer, came in and visit Chipper once a while. We got a vet clinic, and we previously did some research on other grooming place. And just keep it here, and I can quickly grab the number. And a table to keep weight of Chipper, just to measure if the boy is getting a little bit chubby or not. He's actually doing quite all right. So on the right-hand side, this is typically how I work for my own projects as well. I like to have a calendar of activities. This might include a bunch of different things. For example, doing shopping for Chipper, buying medication for him, doing vet visits, or I do weekly vlog for him. I also keep it here because it's part of him. And then beneath that, these are the 6 really key areas I care about: insurance, medication, some health observation I find about him, shoppings I do vet visit for him, and then the vlog. And here you can see kind of a roll-up on how much money I've spent on each of these categories or how much time I've spent on it. So I've spent around a whole day on vlog. Here are some moments on the left-hand side, photos. Sorry, on the right-hand side, these are the vlogs. You can click on each of the link, quickly go to the YouTube. I can share with other people. And if you click into one of the entry, I always kind of keep a YouTube video there just for myself. And then every week I try to do something different in the video. So last week it was try incorporating a video clips from iPhone, and turn out iPhone has really good quality for videos, and incorporating some slow-mo into the video. Followed by that, this section is helpful when I take him to the vet. What are the vet history? What have we bought for him medication-wise? And what are the observations we currently have? And finally, fake data again, but these are all the expense items spent on Chipper. And then I can just quickly see a tally up number on how much we've spent on him. So really, we're gonna look at 6 different databases today. They are pet, tag, activity, weight, photo, people, and places. Cool, let's dig in. I'm gonna swap to another account just so we have a clean slate. Welcome, Stephanie. Awesome. Cool. So let's get started. Let's build this dashboard for Chipper. I have a blank page. I've already loaded something on the page just because I'm conscious of the time. So we're just gonna recreate the entire dashboard. So sorry, let me just open up a separate window so I can have a reference on the side. Cool. So as I've described, we need 6 different databases. So I'm gonna go ahead and create the first one for Chipper, which is a pet database. Now, this database is necessary when you actually have multiple pets, but for the purpose of this demo, I'm just gonna create it. And if you only have 1 pet, maybe you don't really need that. So I'm gonna call this one pet. So I've just used shortcut / and typed in page and go into a new page. And because we're creating a database, I'm just gonna click on table for now underneath the database options. Cool. So this is the database. We could store all of the information about the pet. So really, this one is for Chipper. Add an icon because he's an orange boy. So the first thing I want to capture is a date, which is his date of birth. And it is September the 3rd, 2018. I think that's just a random date that the vet actually assigned him because they found him on that day and they roughly estimated he's 2 years old. So he might either entering 3 years old or he's very young in that age span. So go that. Cool. So I also would like to know, just let Notion to tell me how old he is right now. I don't want to manually do calculation, although it's easy right now. So I'm going to go ahead and create a little formula here. And let's call this formula age. So what I want to do is use today's date to minus this date and then convert that into years. So let's click on this. It's a fairly simple formula. Highly recommend you to give a go. So the function we're going to use is a function called date between. So take a look at the syntax. It's called date between. The first date is today's date, or the date you want to use. Basically, it calculates a range. Today's date, his birthday, and then we can specify if it is years, weeks, months, or other things. Notion will do the calculation for you. So we're going to go ahead. Today's date is now. Chipper's date of birth is here. I just click on that. It will show prop. And then I'd like to know years. And then it will show me 2. You can see it here. We can also change it to weeks if you're interested. So it's 113 weeks. Let's change that back. Now, if I actually just show two later in the gallery view, it might not be so obvious. I'd like to add years old, YO. So we can add YO. Now we'll notice there's a little type mismatch down the bottom. It's because the first thing is still a number, and we need to change that to a string or a text. So we can just go format. Format basically is a functionality to turn anything into a text. And then you can use plus and double quotation mark to include anything you want. You can add emoji here or anything else. This is particularly handy if you want to kind of show something in the gallery view where you don't have necessarily the name to it. So I'm just going to do that. So you can see it's 2 years old right now. Some other things, I'll just quickly do it. We've got a microchip number. Microchip, it's terrible spelling. I'm just gonna keep it there. And then maybe an Instagram link just so I can quickly grab it. So let me copy paste. That's the fake number. And that's the real link. And then I can probably grab a little photo into it. And we'll just wait it to load. And if you have multiple pads, you can kind of add them here. And then if you have any documents that you would like to keep for your pads, you can add them here, or you can add other attributes like I can go documents, and you can choose the documents, the files and media one, and you can upload any files if you want. We're just gonna leave it here for this database. Cool, so it's fairly simple. We've got our first database, and let's add that to here. Actually, let me give this page a little emoji. Awesome. So in my original page, because we don't really need to show a full screen, I guess, first thing I will do is turn the entire thing to full width. We have a little bit more space to work with. On the top right-hand side, you have the 3 dots, and then you can turn on the full width. So I'm gonna copy this database by clicking on copy link, or you can go into here and then click copy link to view again. I can do that because this entire page is its individual database. I'm gonna copy it here, create linked databases. And then we want to trigger the gallery view as I've just described. And we don't really need a table view anymore, so I'm just gonna delete that. And then on this page, we need, I wanna see Chippa's date of birth, I wanna see the age, I wanna see the microchip number. Cool. So notice in my original design, which I'll probably just show it here. Let me switch back. You can see that it's kind of sitting on the side. Now, if you kind of just grab it, like typically how you would create a multi-column, it might not work because you have a database here. The trick here is really to create a multi-column structure first. So let's say you kind of have this entire line as one block. I'll grab the next one and just put it on the right-hand side of this one. And then you kind of have, although an empty but 2-column structure. And now you can move your database into one of the column and it will sit nicely on the side. And then you can kind of change this to kind of change how the width they try to take over. I'm gonna change this to small. Awesome. Cool. Next bit, we've kind of got peoples and places. I've already kind of pre-populated these. One thing I do want to mention is let's copy this database to the front page. And then let's copy it here. And it's quite nice. I can see the name. I can see the contact number, the role, and the URL. And at a glance, or if I ever put pull out my mobile phone, it will be looking for the contact number, and it will be a phone number. So currently it's still just a normal number. I would recommend you change it to phone. And when you're on your phone, you can actually click that little dialing icon, and that automatically trigger your native phone functionality from your Notion app. Just try that today. It's pretty handy. And that is really just this database. It has name, contact number, role, and URL in it. Cool. Next one is weight. Let's go to the weight database. Now we've got the date, and I've got some pre-populated weight. I'm gonna add kg to it. So that let us know Chipper is actually maybe on a little on the other side of the scale, which is not skinny, but on the other side. But he's still okay at the moment, and we can easily hold him up. So that's pretty nice. And interesting just to see a range. So ever since he came home, he's just been fluctuating within 0.3. I think that's pretty healthy. So what we really want to do here is if you have multiple pads, this is where you want to specify which pad is this weight for. So I've pre-created a pad column, and you can create maybe a select one, and you can say Chipper. But just because we've created a pads database, you can actually link them together. So I'm going to change this from select to relation. So this is relational database. If it is the first time you hear about it or look at it, this is what's amazing about Notion. You can link two different databases or multiple databases together. I'm going to select the pads database, which is here, the one we've just created. And once you click on each of these, you can now select from the database. And because it only has Chipper 1 entry, so I'm just going to click on that. And then for the rest, they are all the same. I can just go select all of them, right click, edit property, pad, and then select Chipper. And bam, they're all in here. I had too much dinner. And the reason I didn't put weight into name is I'm just thinking about down the road if I want to import it into a spreadsheet. I want them to kind of keep in a numbering column. And name is not necessarily always need to fill them out. I think, in fact, Notion is working on maybe hiding the name column down the road. Cool. So that is weight. We've got it. Again, I'm just going to copy the link, and now I'll just put it here. Create link database, and then I'll move it to here in the column. Remember, we're still kind of in the two-column state. And then I'll kind of shuffle the order a little bit just so I can look at them a little bit easier. So really, I want to see the weight and the date. And because it's only Chipper here, I can just hide the pad column. Unfortunately, you can't hide the name column at the moment. But as I just described, I think Notion is working on that. Awesome. So we've got 3 databases in. And next 2 is fairly important. And I set it up in this way because it works best for me and might not be the best way for you. But I'll just introduce how I work on it anyway. So as I've described, the 2 databases are activity and tags. Activities are something I just do. Could be buying something for Chipper, could be take him into the vet, could be do a video for him, could be a health observation. I don't want to think about what that thing is, so I'm categorizing them as activity. This is the place I always go to if I have anything related to Chipper. And this is when tag comes into handy, because tags help me to actually later categorize these things retrospectively, or if I've already created, I can just use it. Again, the 6 things I really care about my cat are we just bought him insurance because we foresee he might go to vet quite often. Any medication we buy for him, any observation, anything we buy to spoil him, shopping, looking at a cat tree, which is fairly expensive at the moment. Very tempted. I don't know if I should buy it. Vet visit and vlog. So let's go ahead and looking at the activity for now. I've pre-created this database again, empty. What I'm interested in activities are, what is this activity? So name, how much money did I spend on this activity? Now, some of the activity might have expenses, some of them might not, and that's okay. We'll just document whatever has the expenses on it. A date, I like manually putting the date, but you can always use created time if you are someone who always jump to this database when the things actually happen. I'm terrible at that. I usually do it maybe the day after. So I tend to use a manual one. How many time I spend on it? This is to keep track of some efforts in terms of time for something like vlog I do for Chipper. A link for vlog as well. And then as we've just described, if you have multiple paths, each activity might link to a different path. So let's do this again. Change this path column to a relation. Click on relation and go to path and create relation. And we can select chip again. Cool. So I'm gonna put in some pre-populated data. See if I can find them. Cool. So I've got some items here. You can always actually migrate from another database by just select these things. And then what you do is you don't do this. You don't click into one cell. You kind of click, well, after you select it, you kind of click outside of it, it becomes blue. And then you can copy paste and it will just keep all of the order of the column and rows, which is fairly handy if you are migrating data from a different table to your current table. Cool. So we've got a couple of things here. And they are all different categories. And here, by categories, I mean tags. So I have a tag database, which is currently empty. So what I'm going to do now is thinking about how I usually work is I'll log something into activity, and then I will retrospectively decide what category that is. So let's create a new column called tag. You can call it category if you want. And because we've pre-created that tag database. So I'm going to create a relation here and call it tag. So link to that. That's not linked to it. Tag, create relation. Cool. So we've got a tag now. So this database now link with path database and the tag database. Okay. So what do we've got? The first two, Zoomy, Chipper gets fairly excited in the middle of the night, and he will just like jump through different places, start zooming in and out. It's referred as zoomy, and it's pretty typical for a cat. And when we got him home, maybe the second week, he got swollen eyes or red eyes. Sorry. So these are just observations. I'm going to create a tag directly from here. I'm just going to call it observations. And just wait a little bit, and you can see create a new page called observation in tags. I'm going to click on that. And then there I've got an observation. And if I click on that, I can actually go directly to the tag database, this entry. So I'm going to change this to this one, observation. And now let's jump back to the tag database and have a look. And you can see the observation have been created here. And the zoomy is actually linked with that. So quickly go through the rest of them. What have we got? So I will go to my other database to copy all of the tags. Go here. Bear with me. I'm gonna delete the observation. So I've got these other tags. Medical, meditation. This is a little pill. Don't worry about the insurance for now. Video. And then finally, some shopping stuff. Cool. And let's just get rid of insurance for now. And then let's go back to this activity database. Okay, so we've got all of these things are related to Chipper. So I'm just gonna go edit property pet, and then Chipper. And then red eyes again, it's observation. I've got some other things. These are things I've spent on Chipper, some toys, some diffusers. If you have a pretty grumpy cat, there's this thing called Fallyway diffuser. It's fairly useful to calm your cat down. It's basically like an air refreshener. You can plug it into your wall. So I've got a tag. These are shopping items. And then down here, we've got some vlogs. Tag. And you can see you can always kind of come back and then do these things. We've got that. Tag. That visited. And I'm just gonna quickly put the rest of these, put a random tag onto it. Let's go shopping. Awesome. Cool. So let's copy this link. And then let's put this thing here. Oops. Activity, copy link. Link databases. Give it a second. My alarm just went off. That's the time to actually feed the cat. So while it's loading, I think it's taking a time, I'm gonna create a calendar view because typically how I do is to look at the calendar and then just adding entries to this database. I'm gonna create a calendar view. Please show up. I think Notion's bail on me at the moment. Great, it's showing up. You can see all of the entry we've just put in, copy paste are kind of on their right date. What I like to do is to change the property a little bit. I'd like to see what tag is it on. And because it's a calendar, we don't need to show the date. So really here are some of the vlogs and then some of the other options. Cool. So then we've got a tag. And the reason I put tag right underneath this is just to remind myself what are the typical category I use so I don't invent new categories or tags when I try to log my things. So how I work is, let's say today is this day, and then let's say maybe I take Chipper to the vet visit number 3 maybe. And then I would just go, cool, this one is for Chipper, and this one is for vet visit. And if it is a category I've never invented before, I can just quickly new tag, and then it will show me a new tag here. And then maybe I spend, let's say $20 today. And we can change this to dollars to become a monetary value. And then it will just be here. And then that's one activity done. And whatever that activity is, it will always kind of be in this calendar view. Let's get rid of the table view because we no longer need that. And then here text. So again, I'd actually like to use gallery view because there's not that many tags. And then I'd like a really nice clean view to show me some stats about it. So I'm gonna create a gallery view, delete the table one. There's not really any images or fancy things in it. So I'm gonna get rid of the card preview. So you'll see the preview image is gone. So preview images is like something like this. Typically it's by default, grab the first thing in the content. If it is an image, it will just show here. If there's no image, it will just put the tags in there. Cool. So I'm gonna get rid of the new tag. Now here are a couple of things I really care. One is I wanna know for each of these categories how much money I've actually spent on it. And the second thing is because I spend time on vlog and I'd like to know how long I've spent on some of these projects. So I'd actually like to see this number pop up here. So let's go back to the tag database. Now, the thing we really want is to aggregate some data from the activities. We want to know, okay, for a very specific type of tag, for example, vlog, how long I've spent. Let's create a new column called time. And here we're going to use in advance something called rollup. Rollup is to grab data based on your related database. In this one, it's the activity database we've just linked it to. So I'm going to click on either one of these cell in this time column. And then I can select an existing relationship, which is activity. And then it will ask me which attributes from that database I want to grab. So this is the attributes from the activity database. I want to know time. And it will give me all the time. So I've got 7 different vlogs. These are individual time for these 7 entries. And I can change the calculation. There are a bunch of different things you can put in here. You can get average, you can get median, you can count the number of it. Might be useful for other use cases. Here, I'm just going to turn it into sum. So it's telling me I've actually spent 24.5 hours on here. Similar things to how much money I've spent on it. It's exactly the same. I'm just going to change this to expense. And then similar thing, I've just selected as a rollup. Click here, choose activity. And because activity has a column called expense, and Notion automatically recognizes the format of that number as well, which is pretty nice. So again, I can choose sum. So then I can see, okay, for that visit, we've spent 40 bucks. For shopping, we spend this amount of money. And let's go back to the home page. So now I've actually got these 2 properties I can use, which are here, expense and time. And I think it's nice, expense has a little $sign, but if you don't, if you do want to kind of show the time, which 24.5 might not be super obvious, the thing you really can do is click into it, use the similar way we've dealt with the pet birthday or the age of Chipper. So we can just go formula, and then I can go time for display maybe. And then I can go format. Again, this is to turn something into text. Format time plus hours. And you can preview it here. So you always want to add a little space in between. And you've got time for display 24.5 hours. And then let's change the property again. So instead of time, I want to turn on time for display now. So now we've got a nice hours at the end of it, which is pretty clear. Awesome. That's kind of the bulk of it. And really the last database is photos. Photos pretty easy. I've preloaded some photos here. Again, we'll link it to the pet, which I'll select the pet database. And these are all Chipper. Select all, pet, Chipper. And really, if you only have one pet, maybe you just don't need to set up that database at all. You can just put his information on the front page. I've got some photos in each of these things. So what we're going to do is we're just going to copy this and put it in the front page. So I'm calling this memory because it's memory of Chipper. And then, so we've got, what do we get? We get some photos, and then we actually have some vlogs. And then I'll use the double column structure. I like to add a little divider. Cool, so I'll copy the photo database here. Copy link database. Again, what we want here is a gallery. Create. And then I can get rid of this table. That's cute. It was the second day. I was sleeping. Very cute. Yeah, so you can see we've got kind of page content here. if you choose page cover, it will just be gone. And you can choose none if you want to. I'll change the size to small so I can fit a little bit more here. And for this one, because I care less maybe about the date, all the data I upload the photo will be pretty close to the real date it's been taken. So I want to turn on the timestamp, which is just automatically captured. So it's using the advanced one, create time. It will just automatically grab it whenever you create a new things. For example, I create a new one. The timestamp will just be the current timestamp. Delete that. Blocks. So blocks is actually just a tag within the activity database. So what I'm gonna do is really just to copy the link of the activity and then paste it here. And now these are every single activity entry I've put in. I don't really want that. First thing I want to do is to create a gallery view again, because I don't have that many vlogs. I can just show them all at once. I have 7 at the moment. And again, currently it will show me everything. Let's change property to maybe small so we can fit in more. These are all of the entries we've put in activity. What we want now is to add a little filter. Filter is when you can specify, I only want these specific sets of data from this database. Add a filter. Notion has just created a filter group. If you know database or if you do IT and stuff, this is fairly handy. You can have multiple logic and or together. I'm just gonna create a simple one. So all I want is just a tag that contains vlog. So I've got all these things. And then I want to sort them, which is the order of these blocks. I want to sort them by the date. I can do ascending. So now I have a nice view from week 1 to week 7. I'm going to change. I don't really need the cover, so I'm just going to select a none. And what I really want is a quick way for me to just click into each of these week, which is a link. So when I click on week 7, it'll just link me to the YouTube of Chipper. And that's him trying to get out of the door. Cool. So that's memory. How are we tracking for time? Pretty good. That's memory. Maybe we can do something like this. Small. Okay. And the last 2 bits, one is it'll be handy if you have a full medical history of your pet. And again, we've kind of tracked that in vet visits or if medication and stuff like that, and observations. So it's a similar structure to here. What I want is just health-related stuff. And the 2 things we care are vet visits. And the second thing is observation. Observations. And you can add observation, or I can add observation anytime, whenever I find them. And this is a good place to putting them. I can either kind of put it here, or let's kind of duplicate this one. Because all of these things are again in activities. Actually, sorry. What we really want is a table view of that. So I'm just gonna copy a link here. Gonna put it here, create a link database. So here I want to put in the, I want to filter out the tag that's only applied to vet visits. So now I've got it. The latest one we've just added, vet visit 3, is here as well. And again, depends on your preference. You can either do ascending or descending on the date, or anything you would like to do. And maybe here you don't really care about expenses, hide. And you don't care about the link either. Hide. So next time, because we've kind of added a filter vet visit here, which means all of the entries will always be true to a vet visit. That means next time, after you've done a vet visit, you don't necessarily need to jump into this activity. You actually actually just jumping here. Let's say there's a vet visit 4. Let's just put a date in the future. And if you open that, you actually see the tag is automatically filled to vet visit. And that's the magic of filter. And we can also do, the pet is actually chipper. And then you will see the vet visit 4 is gone because it wasn't chipper. So let's try to find that one. Where did I put it? Vet visit. And let's add the pet to chipper. And it will just show up here. That means if you do a vet visit number 5, chipper will automatically be selected as well as the vet visits tag. So exactly the same observation, is just another tag. I'm going to duplicate this database, which is not really duplicating it. It's creating another instance of it. Means these things are the same database. You just show them twice and based on different condition. And the condition here is observations. So I can see, okay, on this date, chipper had red eyes, and I can kind of nicely see them tied in with other dates here. So if you kind of have a quite long history of your pets, you can actually just drag this whole thing into a separate page, if you will. And you can put that at the top of your page, be ready to open. Finally, expenses. I want to quickly see how much I've spent totally on chipper. And that's fairly easy as well. Let's duplicate activities. Again, because all the activities, I keep track of the expenses. So what we really want to do here is, yes, on chipper, but instead of tag, I want to see expenses. And we've just talked about some of the activity doesn't really have expense, and we don't really care about them. We care about the items that has expenses on them. So I'm just going to say it's not empty. And that will bring all of the items that has expenses on it. Let's show expenses again. Property, let's turn up expenses. You'll see they're all here. And then if you want, you can show the tags if that helps you. And then you can just go, I want to tally everything up, give me a sum. This is how much entirely I've spent on every single thing. And you can see the breakdown here. On vet visits is $40. Or if you're interested, you can always create another view, another table, just say vet visit, create. Then you can go filter. I want to see expense is not empty, and tag contains vet visits and sum. And this number will match with this number really. So it depends on what is your preference. You can kind of add it here, expense. And that's really it. And the last thing I would like to do is just to turn this into a toggle, because we don't really need to touch these database outside of this page. So I'm just put them here, maybe turn that into a gray color. And there you go. That's the entire dashboard for chipper. We've covered basic information. You can include his documents here. We've got all the key contacts. Basically, you can quickly grab the phone by clicking on the phone icon. You've got a little weight. I can see the range. And maybe you can have a key matrix for your pet if you want to. Here's the activity calendar. I can just quickly add anything here. If it is not vlog or health related, I can just add them. And if I ever find out there's something else, something new, maybe I need a new toy tag because I just want to keep tally of all the different toys. You can just add a new tag called toys. And below that, these are the different things or key areas for your pet. And really the benefit of this is you can just, like, it's scalable. You can add as many tags as you want, and you don't need to worry about creating another database and then link multiple databases together. At least that works pretty well for me. photos, activity again, health, expense. Cool. That is the entire dashboard. Before I move on to the next session, Tim, do you want to maybe unmute? Give people unmute ability. Does anyone has any questions?
Yeah, people can unmute themselves.
Did you have any question, Rachel?
Yeah, do you track vaccinations?
Yeah, that was the point I was gonna get to. I don't personally. I didn't have the need to do it yet, but I'm sure you will. Which brings me to my next point. We'll hold for a second. Does anyone has any questions on specifically the dashboard we've just built? If not, we'll move to that section. Well, thank you for listening to me, blabbering for half an hour. So I'll just acknowledge that this is a fairly simple version of it. And then there are other cases you might need more features. For example, if you have a dog, maybe you need a schedule for your dog, or if you have multiple dogs, yeah, you need different walking schedules for it. Like Rachel said, reminders for your vaccinations. And then if you do have multiple pets, you might actually need to spin up multiple dashboards for them. And this templates probably don't meet with that. But good news is we do have one, which is fairly comprehensive, and that's made by Jay, kind of sitting underneath the Notion family package created by the Jeffries. I will copy the link. Bear with me. Copy the link here. Oops. I am missing that. Got it. So we've got kind of a pet hub that's created by Jay. Thank you, Jay, again. It's a free template. This is the instruction page for it. We'll include all of the details we've mentioned today in the YouTube description as well. And then Jay, maybe you can copy paste this link into the chat currently for people who are in this meeting. Jay has nicely put a little video at the top to walk you through everything that's included in this template. She also included step-by-step instructions. Let's take a look at what's included in this comprehensive templates. So similar to mine, or mine similar to Jay's, has a pets one. In case you have multiple pets, weight, each one has profiles and their diaries. And Jay has this immunization. Sorry, can't pronounce it properly. I think that's the where you kind of keep track of all of your vaccination. Also grooming, also sickness and injuries and other things. And there are a whole bunch of things that's included in this template. And what's good about it is you can take out the bits you don't want, or you can adopt the bits you want. And all of the instruction, either in this video, or there are step-by-step instruction with a little bit details in it. For example, how to add a pet into the pet databases and stuff like that. Let me just load this fairly quickly. Yeah, Jay basically walk you through how do you copy this template by clicking on, I think I'm logged in, but there's a template version of this, and then you can copy it as a template and use it for yourself. If you're digging a little bit, I'm sure you can find the vaccination or immunism. Can't pronounce that word, sorry. Just not gonna try tonight. That. Cool. Do you want to add anything, Jay? I'm not doing a fantastic job of explaining your hard work.
No, it's fine. It's, yeah, people can just go explore. It's just another way of, you know, adding in pets and doing stuff, you know, tracking different things, and it really depends what you're tracking and what you want as to what you'll sort of have. And mine in some ways seems basic too, because I haven't sort of, you know, haven't done some of the things that you've done either, Len. And so, yeah, I think you've all got two different ways to do it, and a great combination there, just to, you know, you can combine them both really. It's great. And yeah, it's up to each person, I guess. Depends what they're doing. So no, you did well.
Thank you. And finally, just a shout out to the larger product that Tim and Jay's offering. It's the Notion family. Pet Hub is just part of it. They've really created a wonderful resources hosting a million of different other templates, accommodating to different aspects of your life. Maybe you have multiple kids, maybe you have multiple chickens. And kids needs uniforms, kids needs to go to the doctor, and your home family budget and stuff like that. So go to Notion.family. All the templates are free, and the Jeffreys are looking for you to contribute to their templates and fuse everything together as well. They've also got a newsletter and a Facebook group. So give this a site a visit. I'm sure you'll find something that's very useful to you. Awesome.